Clash of Champions.
You are now tuned to the
Background
step into place, and you can feel the raw excitement from the look on their faces. Like the prize right in front of my eyes to take, and the sky's the limit, got no time to waste. Tonight's the big go, strike quick but creep slow. The competition is out at the moment that we show. Countdown for 3 go, plus we still trying to top the kingdom that we own. Outnumbered but outgunning, we're fearless and crowd stunning. Never an error on record, there's no one to protect you. And we would still be bright here if all the money was burned, but we stay bumping in your ear cause the money was earned. Yo, you can find us climbing set in the bar, or you can find us red carpet when we hitting it hard. Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, bright cloud, never keep it thrown down. Everybody our progression, never resting to heal. We keep it going, track stars, we the best in the field. My microphone check, got a lyrical quest. We bring it for a track, track up the digital spec. And yo, it's crazy to think we went from rhyming the block to rhyming steady on the mic, and now we rise to the top. Yeah, you got our hair shades on, and we on your team, you so you can stay on. Like shoe legs, we got that game face on. 440 on the floor, man, it's this thing on. Yo, you can find us if you're drinking the bar, or you can find us black out when we hit it too hard. Cause the truth is you can find us wherever you are. Just look up, we're flying high with the stars. Cause tonight is the night. Bright lights, bright cloud, never keep it thrown down. Everybody get loud. Tonight is the night. Don't listen, slowly look into the ground. Everybody get down. Tonight is the night. We stay climbing by the way. And watch us everybody, now we on top. It's not something you get, it's just something we got. Cause I don't know if you know we playing or not. Tonight.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules in your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and love.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a post Summerslam show for WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones and my partner who is barely alive with 10 staples and stitches in his head after a grueling match with Brock Lesnar, Sean Randy Smith.
Yes, 12 staples in my head, but I'm still going to do this broadcast.
We will start this show, as we have done several times, with Saturday night, which saw NXT take over the Barclays Center for the second year in a row.
Yes. NXT Takeover Brooklyn 2.
The show opened with Austin Aries taking on No Way Joseph. And it was a high-flying style match, as most of Austin Aries matches are. And as I'm sure most people out there would have predicted, Austin Aries walked out with the victory by submission.
Yes, he did. But then, we then saw the return of Hideo Itami.
Who hit the GTS of all moves on Austin Aries. Who remembers that move of the days of CM Punk?
I do.
A name who is probably not should be mentioned if you went up to Vince McMahon these days, but hey.
It happened, though, didn't it?
Next we move on to some women's action on the card with the debut of Ember Moon, who looks almost like a cross between Beth Phoenix and Karma.
Yeah, you could say that.
And has some kind of contacts in there which give her red eyes. But I actually found quite impressive. She took on Billie Kay in a 4.5 minute match, which ended in one of the most impressive weird moves that I have seen in a while. I'm not even sure what to call it.
Right.
It's almost a flying Stone Cold Stunner type thing. Basically, Ember Moon is in the turnbuckle on the middle rope and jumps off and hits a stunner type move on Billie Kay, and the crowd absolutely popped at it.
Yes, they did. Interesting match, but it was well worth a watch.
Next we had Mr. Glorious in Bobby Roode,
Making his NXT and WWE debut.
taking on Andre Adams. And this had a rare occasion in WWE. It happens every now and then, but not nearly as often as it should, that people cheer a heel simply because of how popular that superstar is. And Bobby Roode is one of these occasions.
Yes, he is. But I thought Bobby Roode was quite impressive in his WWE debut.
Yes, and I don't think it came out to any surprise that he walked away as the victor in this match.
Obviously as predicted.
Now, the 3 championship matches in NXT were the 3 main events, and the next one was quite possibly the match of the night. We had the NXT Tag Team Champions with Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder defending against Johnny Gargano and Thomas Chipper, however the heck you pronounce that surname.
Yeah.
And this match was filled with false finish after false finish. The crowd was like, aren't they gonna win? And it's what we like to see in a WWE match, and it's what makes NXT great. And on occasion, people would probably say most of the time these days that the action on NXT is 10 times better than what we see on the main roster.
That is true.
But in the end, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder retained their championships by submission.
Absolutely correct.
Next, we saw Asuka defend the Women's Championship in the NXT Takeover Dallas rematch against former champion Bayley.
And this match was, let's be honest, pretty brutal.
Brutal, yes, but different than what happened in Dallas, because we all remember in Dallas it was a technical submission that gave Asuka the NXT Women's Championship when Bayley refused to give in and passed out rather than tapped out. Something else which will sort of come up later on in this broadcast regarding another superstar.
Yes. We'll go on to that later on. Well, to listen.
But in this situation, we had, towards the end, we had Asuka with her submission hold on Bayley again. We thought that was going to end. Bayley managed to get out of that. We had the Bayley to Bayley. We thought Bayley was going to be the first superstar to be a two-time women's champion. But unfortunately, it was not to be, as with a few kicks to the head, Asuka managed to retain the NXT Women's Championship.
Yes, but there's also something else mentioning Bayley, but we'll get to that later on in the show.
Now we get to the main event of the evening. Samoa Joe defended the NXT Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, who you can play as if you pre-ordered the NXT edition of 2K17.
Me. But this match, wow.
First of all, the wow starts off with the way Shinsuke Nakamura entered the ring, because that was absolutely brilliant.
Yes, it was. Very well, brilliant.
We had his music being played live, which is a rarity on save for big pay-per-views.
Yes, it is a rarity nowadays.
But let's get to the match. For my liking, this match started off a bit slow because both of these superstars are fast, strong, because they say Nakamura is known as the king of strong style, and despite his size, Samoa Joe is fast and strong in his own right.
He is.
We had several spots in this match with Samoa Joe hitting the buckle buster and Nakamura kicking out, and the sleeper hold he managed to get to the ropes with his long legs.
Yep.
But the end of the match came with the second absolutely devastating kick of Shinsuke Nakamura, laying out Samoa Joe, and ladies and gentlemen, as Howard Finkel would say, the winner of the bout and new NXT champion is Shinsuke Nakamura. However, that is not the end of this, because as he was celebrated, and you could just catch this on the side of the camera, the referee held up his hands in an X motion, which is to indicate that the superstar is legitimately injured, and we've been reading reports which suggest that Samoa Joe may have legitimately broken his jaw.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if his jaw actually is officially broken.
And speaking of legitimate injuries, that's something else we'll get into in a while. But for now, we will head over to Sunday evening and WWE's second biggest pay-per-view, Summerslam.
The biggest party of the summer.
Which, considering that it's the second biggest pay-per-view this year, just like a few years over the past couple, has been a little disappointing.
It has been.
We had 3 matches on the pre-show. It was a 12-man tag team match with American Alpha teaming up with the Hype Bros and the Usos to face Breezango, the Ascension, and the Von Villains.
Yes. And what do you expect from a 12-man tag? Absolute mayhem.
Yes, with that number of teams in one ring, you cannot really do much with it. But in the end, the winners of the match were the team of American Alpha, the Hype Bros, and the Usos. And they sort of teased a Uso heel turn when one of them tagged himself in to get the pinfall.
Yeah. Need to get something.
The next match sort of came out of nowhere because we had Sami Zayn and Neville teaming up to face off the Dudley Boys, who incidentally marked their 1-year return to the company the night after SummerSlam.
Yeah, they do. But the winners of the match were Neville
And Sami Zayn.
Yes. But we'll get into the double later on the show, though.
Next, we had a match which was originally advertised as being on the main card, but got moved to the pre-show, and that was match number 1 between Sheamus and Cesaro in the Best of 7 series. And
Now,
this match, well, what do we expect? I mean, we've seen them go at it for weeks on Raw.
Yeah, how many weeks now exactly?
About 3, something like that.
3 to 4, I'd say.
But in any event, as I predicted, the winner of this match, and going 1-0 up in the series, was Sheamus.
Unfortunately, Reese, my broadcast partner, is right.
Now we go on to the main card.
Oh boy, what a card we have. Fully stacked as ever.
The main card opened up with Jericho KO, otherwise known as Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, taking on Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
Who came back home to New York City.
Yes, we've seen tag team matches over the years. We've seen them go back and forth, and I am a huge fan of Enzo and Big Cass.
Yes, well.
But what I think it was a stupid move. They had Jericho KO win this match.
Yeah, bit of a dumb call in my opinion.
The next match was the Women's Championship match, with Sasha Banks defending the Women's Championship against Charlotte in a match where Dana Brooke was banned from ringside.
Now this match was actually pretty good, apart from the ending of the match.
Well, yes, these two, women's wrestling is becoming a lot more what it should, a lot more like the men, and in some cases is better than the men. And the fact that they put them on for a good 15 minutes proves that. And the finish of the match was a bit weird, because the finish of the match was when Sasha Banks had Charlotte in the bank statement, but Charlotte was able to use her size advantage, because we all know Charlotte does have a longer body than Sasha Banks, so she was able to counter the bank statement into a pinfall situation, which ended up the referee counting down Sasha Banks into a 3 count, and we have a new women's champion in Charlotte. Now, some people may be complaining and wondering why they would take the women's championship away from Sasha Banks when she's only held it for a couple of weeks. But apparently, Sasha Banks has requested taking some time off from WWE because she needs to recover from some kind of back injury that she's got at the moment. I don't believe that it's a long-term injury, it's just she needs to take some time off.
Yes, but there's some more news involving Charlotte, which we'll get on to later on.
The next match was the Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz and Apollo Crews.
Oh boy, yes.
I'm not sure what we were expecting from this match, because The Miz is 10 times the wrestler he was when he debuted in the company like 10 years ago.
Jeez, was it really that long?
Something like that. And Apollo Crews, whilst I do like him, he does have, in my opinion, a problem with selling certain moves.
Yes, he does, but we do say he has to be a future champion.
This match didn't go on for that long. It was basically a 6-minute match, where the winner of the match, with a slight assist from his lovely wife Maurice, and still the Intercontinental Champion, is The Miz.
Yes, unfortunately, like my broadcast partner said, Maurice did get involved in the match, allowing The Miz to hit the skull-crushing finale on Apollo Crews and getting the 3 count and still being the Intercontinental title, which was a bit annoying.
Next was, and I don't think you will hear one person who will ever argue with this, the match of the night at Summerslam.
Oh yeah.
It was the phenomenal AJ Styles taking on John Cena for the second or third time, depending how you look at the things, because we had they faced each other at Money in the Bank, and
yes,
that match had ended in a controversy because AJ Styles had won with a little bit of help from their club, from, like you said, the club with Lucas and Carl Anderson. John Cena then pinned AJ Styles in a 6-man tag team match at Battleground.
Yes, and now this is match number 3, and this had spots galore. We had false finishes. The works. It's like they were watching. It looked like they took down some NXT Takeover.
Yeah, it was almost like the NXT Tag Team Championship match, but put on in SummerSlam in a singles match.
And it worked, but the eventual winner of the match was the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yes, but what got me right was that even because the match was so good, even the fans who actually came out and pretty much throughout most of the match were doing the whole John Cena sucks chants, by the end of the match were applauding both superstars.
Good, I like to see that.
And the fact that this is the 6th year in a row that John Cena has lost at SummerSlam.
Yes, but this next match was very
Peculiar.
yes, to say the least.
The next match was the Tag Team Championship match between Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and the New Day. And the New Day were joined by Jon Stewart.
Yes, the man who screwed John Cena out of the United States title last year has now appeared to have aligned himself with the New Day.
It's not gonna be. Let's not doodle on this match for long. Because towards the end of this match, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson had Jon Stewart in a similar position as to what they had Big E in a couple of weeks ago, and were looking to injure him in the same way. When, what do we hear? The New Day's music hits, and Big E comes running in for the save,
causing the disqualification.
So the winners of that match were Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. However, to become champions, unless it stipulates otherwise, you need to win by pinfall or submission. So despite Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson getting the win, the New Day are still the tag team champions.
Yes, they are. Now, another match that was peculiar between me and Jonesy, we would definitely agree with this,
is the WWE World Championship match with Dean Ambrose defending the championship against Dolph Ziggler.
By the looks of it, WWE are trying to mould Dolph Ziggler into the next Shawn Michaels.
Which I don't really have a problem with, because let's face it, Dolph Ziggler has that kind of look about him.
He does.
But I'll admit, I was disappointed with the way that this match went. This match almost had a Smackdown or Raw feel about it, rather than pay-per-view quality.
But the match itself was actually pretty good. But the winner of the match
and still the WWE World Champion is Dean Ambrose, and we will discuss his next challenger in a while, and whilst we do the first SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view in like 10 years, in just over a few weeks' time. But now we must apologise to our viewers, because the next match has had a slight edit to it due to WWE handing out suspensions to certain superstars.
Yeah.
This match is a 6-woman tag team match, and because this match was originally advertised as Natalya, Alexa Bliss, and Eva Marie taking on Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella.
Yes, but as Eva Marie's music hit, her ring announcer said that Eva Marie was taking a break because of stress caused by hostile WWE fans. I mean, the actual truth was that she got suspended for 30 days.
But so, who was going to replace Eva Marie, you ask? Well, none other than the returning, longest reigning Divas champion in history, Nikki Bella.
Yes, Nikki Bella is back after having career-threatening neck surgery.
Yeah, don't talk about surgeries, and we'll explain about that later on.
Okie dokie.
We're not going to linger on this match for too long, because it's pretty much what we would expect from a 6-woman tag team match. And of course, Nikki Bella got the winning pinfall.
She did. On a return, obviously, that's what we'd normally predict.
Now, the next match was for the WWE Universal Championship.
Yes, the first ever match for the Universal title.
Now, where do I start with this? I suppose we'll start in the point where they unveil the championship.
It is.
The championship is a direct copy of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which is currently held by Dean Ambrose, except the strap is red.
Yep.
The line under the WW is black.
Correct.
And it says Universal Champion underneath that.
So it's basically the WWE World title, but just exclusively for Raw.
And slightly edited.
Yes. And between.
The match itself was between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Now,
Yes.
it was a great match. The fans had to go and went really into it, probably because of a mixture of certain things and the look of the championship. But in any event, the winner of the match, following the coup de grace, was Finn Balor, and he was the first ever WWE Universal Champion. And I stress the word was, because the following night on Raw, Finn Balor was forced to vacate the Universal Championship due to yet another botched job by Seth Rollins. Now,
Yes.
who remembers Night of Champions last year when Seth Rollins had a championship match against Sting and botched his powerbomb into the turnbuckle, effectively injuring Sting's neck and effectively ending his career?
But it looks like lightning has struck twice, because Finn Balor will be out for up to 6 months.
The only difference is at this time he did that move onto the barricade outside the ring and caused an injury to Finn Balor's elbow. So to resolve this, on Raw we had a series of matches. We had a match between Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn.
Then we also had a match between.
Kevin Owens and Enzo Amore.
We also had a match between Big Cass and Rusev.
Yes. And we had a match between Roman Reigns and Chris Jericho. The winners of this match would advance to a Fatal 4-Way match, which will take place on Raw this upcoming Monday, and the winner of that match will be the Universal Champion. Now, common sense says that the winner of this match will be Seth Rollins, because I personally can't see them putting another World Championship on Roman Reigns at this moment in time, because certain people above Vince McMahon is still annoyed that he got himself suspended.
In my first opinion, it's going to be Kevin Owens.
I would say that it's going to be between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. But main attraction, there was another match happening.
Oh yeah, we advertised this as well. There was supposed to be a United States Championship match between Roman Reigns and Rusev. That, however, never got underway.
No, because Roman Reigns injured Rusev for the match.
Injured. This was we all know what's been happening with Roman Reigns, Lana, and Rusev. So this practically resulted in a brawl, and the match never got underway. So that brings us to the main attraction, which was Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh yes, my trip to Suplex City.
And I will
Let's
admit,
say,
with all the build-up to this match I was done over the weeks, it was a disappointing main event.
but nonetheless, I got brutalized. Literally brutalized.
Randy Orton hit an RKO on the announce table,
I did.
an RKO in the ring, and got like 2 7/4, something like that.
I did get 2 7/8.
You got the your signature DDT from the middle rope on him.
I did.
But all of that was not enough, because you got landed with a huge elbow from Brock Lesnar.
And then he kept hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and hitting me and hitting me across the forehead until it bust me open, hence giving me 12 stitches in my head.
And this resulted with Shane McMahon coming out to the ring. The match was stopped and Brock Lesnar was the winner of the match by TKO, technical knockout, which is just bloody UFC.
But then Brock Lesnar shocked the WWE Universe by F5ing the Smackdown general manager, Shane
Commissioner.
McMahon.
He's a Smackdown commissioner, not general manager.
Oh yes. Or the Smackdown commissioner even.
But in any event, we had that an F5 done to Shane McMahon, and I'm not liking where this is going. This could easily lead to a match between Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon.
Let's see how this one plays out.
So that was how SummerSlam went. We've more or less mentioned the big highlights that happened on Raw. There was only a few other things where the Dudley Boys announced their retirement, but only to be interrupted by the Shining Stars, and then attacked by Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Now, we're not 100% sure yet whether this is a legitimate retirement or a storyline that WWE are going with.
And also, Bayley is now on the Raw roster.
Yes, because with these NXT Takeover events, you can sort of have a feel by the way that the matches go, who is going to be called up to the main roster. So Charlotte comes down to the ring and mentions back in the leave that Sasha Banks is now off. Mick Foley comes out and they have words about how Charlotte is going to take a night off and all of this. Mick Foley basically says when Sasha Banks gets back, she will have her rematch for a championship, and then introduces the latest member of the female division on Raw, and that is the Hugger Nation in Bayley. Not the leader of the She Nation, but the leader of the Hugger Nation, Bayley.
Yes. And that brings us an end to NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, and Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, we haven't mentioned anything about SmackDown yet.
Oh yes, SmackDown, yes.
The main stories on SmackDown is as to complete the brand extension, SmackDown have now introduced their own tag team championships and women's championship. Now, I'm not too fussy about the tag team championships, but
that was quite nice.
yeah, they're an identical version of the ones on Raw, only a slightly different colour. And the same thing with the Women's Championship. The Women's Championship on SmackDown is now a carbon copy of the Women's Championship on Raw, except that the background of the championship is blue.
Yes, it is blue.
So both of these championships will be crowned in just over 2 weeks, or just under 2 weeks. I know, just over. When Smackdown presents to you Backlash.
Welcome back, Backlash.
We will cover these two championships in further detail then when we come out to you with our Backlash show. But until then, he is Sean Half Alive Randy Smith.
And he is Reese the Rock Jones.
And we are signing out.